Hi there, we'll be using 1 kilogram weights today in our session. It's important to maintain healthy bones, and working with weights is a #1 way to improve that, especially as women, as our bone density naturally decreases as we get older. If you don't have 1 kilo weights, you could grab a couple of water bottles or you could use some tin cans as well. Make sure they're just evenly weighted. So we'll begin lying down on our backs, holding the weights in both hands, and think about here just that you're holding the weights using the least amount of tension as you can through your wrists and also through your grip. And you've got heavy shoulders, heavy ribs, heavy pelvis, and then reach the arms and the weights up towards the ceiling to feel your shoulder blades lifting gently away from the floor. And then just guide the backs of the shoulders back down. Do this a few times. It might feel like it makes sense to breathe out as the arms are reaching up to the ceiling. Inhaling as you come back down. Keep the tops of the shoulders really soft. And then as the shoulders are heavy next time, turn the palms of the hands so that they're facing away from you. Knuckles are pointing up towards the ceiling. And then from here, start to bend your elbows out to the sides of you. And you can let the backs of your upper arm and your elbows come onto the floor if that feels okay. Otherwise, just come to hover and then reach back up again. Keep the outer edges of your shoulder blades very heavy here. So we're not trying to lift through the front of the shoulder. And then the back ribs can stay heavy. And we'll just keep going a couple more times. Think of the collarbones pulling apart just before you widen your elbows out to the sides. And then from here, turn the palms back towards one another. And then I want you again just to find that quality of wide collarbones so that your elbows now draw apart. And then you can let your knuckles touch. So think of sort of a hug of a tree. So your two weights are just directly over your breastbone. So from that rounded position now, pull wide through the collarbones. Draw your elbows down and then now begin to open the forearms all the way towards the ceiling. Again, start to bend the elbows. Now bring the knuckles together and then round the arms. So it's like a barrel shape with the arms. So now you're hugging your tree and then the collarbones widen again, elbows, forearms. And you might be doing this with your arms in contact with the floor, or you might be hovering above the floor. So either is really okay. I want you to feel that there's no discomfort in the back of the shoulder. That's important. You might feel there's a little bit of work there. That's okay. But again, just being mindful of any pinching in the back of the shoulder. That's important. Obviously, the further the arms go to the floor here as well, the more the front of the chest has to open. If you've got a foam roller at home, the one that supports your head all the way through to your tailbone, like we've used in the studio if you've ever been in, that's a great place to do this as well. So you add the challenge of instability into it too, and it can also encourage a bit more opening through the chest. We'll do this just one more time. So the next time that the backs of your arms are just hovering above the floor, I want you to stay there. And then turn the palms a little bit more open. So it's like your cans, your weights, your water bottles, whatever you've got. They're just balancing in the palms of your hands. It doesn't seem like it's very much, but notice how they start to feel heavier. Breathe into that. And then I want you to come back in really incrementally, but very slowly. So little hover and pause. A little hover and pause, and we'll just keep going like that. Allow the arms to tremor. Think of each time there's that little tremor, the arms are getting stronger, you're getting stronger. Use the breath in a way it feels like also you're coming in from your center, so the arms are being brought back in towards the center of your body with the use of your breath. And then we open out. We just do this one more time. So we're going to open out, the arms come out to the sides of us, backs of the arms, backs of the hands, just hover above the floor. Exhale to hover. Exhale to hover. Make it as slow as you can, because if it goes slowly, I often say this, but if you go slowly, things weigh more, and that is the purpose. We want them to weigh more. And then when your hands come back over your chest, well done. Turn the palms of the hands to face away from one another, and then go back out and draw your elbows to the sides. Excuse me. Now rotate inward, so the palms of your hands and your forearms rotate towards the floor. Then come through the middle, and then send the backs of your arms, the backs of your hands towards the floor overhead. And just keep going. So it's a pivoting movement that's happening here at your shoulders. Again, just loosening off the grip of your weights the best that you can. Breathing slowly and fully. Just pivoting. Keep your collarbones wide, the backs of your shoulders heavy, and continue to breathe. The next time that you come back through the middle, alternate. So one arm goes overhead, one goes down. We come through the middle and we change. It's really important here because we're holding on to weights. Your wrist joint stays very solid. So if you're sort of flexing like I'm showing you here, again, that's not going to be an ideal position for us. So wrist joint staying really open. And then just keep going. One more in either direction. And then when you come back through the middle, bring your elbows now a little bit more inwards so that the shoulders are still able to be heavy, but you've got your weights pointing up towards the ceiling. And then now lower the weights down just until they hover above the floor. And then bring them back in again. Hover them down. And then float back up just one more time. And then come back. So now bring one leg up into tabletop. Breathe out. Bring the other leg to tabletop as well. Bringing your knees and your feet together. So now send your 2 feet away from you and at the same time lower the weights. This is going to be much smaller. We're trying to keep the skin of the lower back into the floor and then come back in. If this doesn't feel good for your lower back, if you just really find it difficult to stop the lower back from lifting, I'm just going to show you where you could be. So you could be here, single leg lower, and then come back. And then you change sides, single leg lower, and then you come back in. If it's feeling pretty good, we go into 2 legs. The range of movement at of the weights and of the legs may be very different. So you might find you're lowering the arms to hover, but the feet are coming nowhere near the floor, and that's okay. Really focus on the back of your ribs and pelvis staying heavy. And you've got control in the downwards movement, just as you've got control in the upwards movement as well. 2 more. And then lower the weights all the way to the floor. Well done. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Just separate your knees here and give yourself just a gentle rock from side to side. Just releasing off through that lower back area. And then we'll start to roll ourselves into sitting. So a little press of the legs. Roll yourself here up into a vertical position and then taking hold of your weights. So we're going to sort of imagine the position of an assisted roll down. So just to start with, we're bringing the ribs over the pelvis, head is on top of the spine, and then we've got our weights directly out in front of us, and we're going to roll the pelvis back. You can keep your elbows quite soft. And then we're going to come back again, all the way up, back up, so that we're on top of the sit bones again. Keep the shoulders really soft away from the ears. Imagine the arm bone, the head of the arm bone sliding back in the shoulder socket. And when you're rolling back, encouraging the softening back of the abdominal wall, so it's not pushing forward, it feels like it's dropping back. And then next time we'll add in, so we're going to roll back and then we're going to add in a bicep curl. So we roll, bicep curl, open, roll all the way back up. Let's go again. So we roll back, bicep curl, all the way up. One more and then we're going to stay back. So we'll roll, find our bicep curl, roll all the way up to sitting. Next time we're going to stay back and we're going to keep going with our bicep curl. See how it is here with the elbows quite low? And then if you want it to be a little bit more challenging, you can think about keeping the elbows higher, and it's like you're sort of throwing your weights back over your shoulders. It's quite a lot more challenging to keep the lower front ribs in. If you want that extra challenge, you can add it in. Ooh, wish I hadn't done that. Well done. We'll do this 2 more times. 1 more. And then we're going to roll all the way forward. And we're going to rest. Well done. So we're going to do 1 more movement now where we're going to go onto our front. So really working on the muscles of the upper back. So you have the option to bring a little cushion here underneath your pubic bone if you would like to. Having your nose just hovering above your mat. And then the weights are in your hands, palms of the hands facing up towards the ceiling. As you breathe out, encouraging a little weight here of your pubic bone. Again, find the width across the front of your collarbones and then start to float the arms with your weights up towards the ceiling. And then bring them back down again. So we're keeping the tip of the nose just so it's kissing the mat, so the back of the neck stays long. The spine isn't coming up into any extension at this point, so it means that we're still just in the natural curves of the spine. And then you have the option to invite your chest to come forward as well. So the arms float, the chest comes up, and then we bring everything back down. So this is your dart, for those of you who are familiar with dart. So you're just resting on the lower front ribs. The top of your head is still lengthening forward and really breathing down into those lower front ribs. The pubic bone staying heavy, the tailbone is really long, the lower back stays long. And then last one. And then lowering all the way down. Well done. Turn your arms now so that the palms are facing down, the arms are out to the side of you, like a capital T position. And then as you breathe out, float the weights in the arms. So notice the arms are now out and away from your body, so naturally the arms are going to feel a little bit heavier and go into some circles. We're going to do 4 circles forward, and then 4 circles back. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to lower the arms all the way down. Bring the weights a little closer in towards you and come and sit back to child's pose. Pushing back, releasing the lower back. Taking a couple of deep breaths while you're here. And then as you come to the end of your exhale, rolling yourself up into kneeling. And then as you come to kneel, bring your shoulders up towards your ears. Let them go. Inhale, slide the shoulders up. Exhale, let them go. 1 more time. And then making your way up into standing. Bringing one foot, then the other. And when you come to stand, just bringing your arms now up to the ceiling. Take a nice big breath in. Let your arms release. Arms to the ceiling. And then let them release. This time bringing your arms up, interlace the fingers. Bring the arms forward so that they're in front of the chest. Bring your chin in towards the chest and then reach the arms in front of you. So you're just rounding here through your upper back. opening the space between your shoulder blades, breathing into that space. One more breath while you're here. And then bringing yourself all the way up. So I hope you really enjoyed that short weight session. It's designed to be short so that you can add it on to the end of a class that you've already done, or if you're really short of time, that you can just do it on its own if you just wanted to focus a little bit more on the strength of the arms and the shoulders. So look forward to seeing you in our next session together, and have a great day.